Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Captain's Draft 3. We're here with the beginning of our second group. That's right, the halfway point of our group stage. We're here with Group Horse. Group Hippo finished yesterday with the epic best-of-3 series between EG and Liquid, securing EG that top slot and Vega the second slot in our first group. So up today, we'll see all four teams square off. First up, we'll have Virtus.pro versus Empire. Then it will be Alliance versus Digital Chaos. I'm Zyori, joined by Purge, and then, of course, Pimp Munkle at the helm for the observing and the production. Purge, how you feeling, my man?
Pretty good. Excuse me. I love watching these teams. Virtus.pro is one of my favorite teams in the world right now. I think they have 5 extremely talented players, and Empire as well is also a very good team. But how will they be after they lost Resolution is the real question.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like FN exclamation point will be the stand-in today. I'm not sure who that is, if it's someone under a silly tag, but of course, no fear, Havos, Aloha, Dance, and Funnick all here in good form. So, good stuff. No Arc Warden in this draft. We saw EG play it yesterday, so that was an exciting first here in Captain's Draft 3. And I heard if he gets played again, Pimp Munkle might sing us a little tune. So I'm now hoping we see some Arc Warden, though, probably a pretty low chance. There you go. First pick, Faceless Void.
There's actually a 0% chance that any team would let Virtus.pro play Arc Warden because Lil has been spamming this hero. Like, he streamed for a couple days and he literally only played Arc Warden, and he did the exact same build that Fear did, which was Midas into Necro 3 into Rapiers. He did get maybe a Mask of Madness or something like that different, but you know, the same principles there. You buy Rapiers and you abuse the hero, and it's pretty OP.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if that sounds like fun to play, grinding over and over, but
oh man, come on, there's some enjoyment to refining and fully understanding a character. I mean, that's what Lil does. He has like 1,000 Visage games. He is the hero spammer.
That's true.
He's done it on Arc Warden, he's done on Visage, and I think his Arc Warden's pretty solid.
Well, here's a fun one. Second pick, Shadow Demon for Virtus.pro, a hero that I know we bring up on occasion, but fun to see him picked up this early on, especially paired with a Morphling.
Well, the main reason that he's been, I mean, the Morphling pairing is pretty good. They recently buffed Disruptions at level 4. The illusions last for 12 seconds, which means you can definitely make illusions of Morphling and then send them high ground to push, for example. But the other way that he's pretty good is that he's a good counter to Faceless Void. If he's outside of the Chronosphere, he can disrupt whoever's inside the Chronosphere and buy them some time, and that's a really good benefit to Shadow Demon. His ultimate is also pretty good against Faceless Void and Razor, slows them down by a lot. Faceless Void can get away decently, but Shadow Demon's he's a pretty solid hero, honestly. He's also quite good against Void, actually, now that I think about it, because if you're stacking up Shadow Poison, the damage that Shadow Poison does as you cast it does about 50 damage a pass. That damage is negligible to the burst that comes at the end. So if you get 5 stacks on somebody, especially at level 4, Shadow Poison does 1,040 magic damage. Throw Soul Catcher on top of that, and you've got a Dead Void. You can't backtrack that because all the damage comes at the same time. So I'm very happy to see Shadow Demon get picked. He's not a top tier support, but he's close to it, so I'd love to see him get played more.
Yeah, well, now we see the Virtus.pro draft coming into form. Mirana Shadow Demon, some obvious synergy there, very similar to the Mirana Bane set up with the Disruption. And now Axe, another hero that has not been getting too much love, picked up against the Dazzle. An interesting choice here, of course. It goes right through the Shallow Grave, but Dazzle is also pretty good against Axe if he doesn't get that ideal initiation with all the armor buffs, the heal bombs, all that kind of stuff. So, interesting. Empire obviously looking at some minus armor synergy with the Razor and the Dazzle. I'm curious how they're going to play this Void. I've only seen him in the offlane since the change to the time dilation, and now they'll pick up Lion. But is there a chance we could see that good old-fashioned like farming Void safe lane style?
It's definitely possible, and there's still like 1 or 2 carries that Empire could draft, whether that be a Luna or a Naga Siren or a Jug. They've got plenty of options. There's even a Wraith King, so they don't have to go for something out of the norm like Faceless Void carry. It's okay at carry, but it definitely excels in the offlane due to its ability to just never die and then transition into good teamfight items like Ags. So yeah, and they do go for the Luna. So they've got pretty good teamfight right now. Chronosphere plus Luna ult is pretty solid. They have pretty tanky cores with Void, Razor, Luna. Luna's obviously not amazingly tanky, but Dazzle on top of that makes her quite good. Now, Axe beating the game definitely makes it hard, though, because the Cullion Blade does counter Shallow Grave. So I'm not entirely sure if the Dazzle pick is going to work out amazing here, but I think it's more likely that Dazzle is useful than Axe completely counters the hero. But it just comes down to the initiations. If Axe is busy somewhere else when somebody's low, then you won't see the chop come through, and the Grave could matter.
Yeah, definitely. I think Empire's draft is really well-rounded, obviously, like that mid to late game where they can sort of 5-man, then just split back to farming. They can scale really low. Well, a lot of good late game heroes, good late game supports. I feel like for Virtus.pro, depending on what this final pick is, they just need to get a lot out of these lanes. We'll see how they set up with the Mirana, if she's more of a like roaming 4 or if she ends up being a core. But I'm feeling like she's going to be a support. And if so, that support Mirana can be a make it or break it for your team.
I think support Mirana is a lot better than it maybe used to be as well, though, because you can get fast arcane boots, you can do some roaming, and you can just kill neutral stacks. Or what you could do is do a little bit of farming, do a little bit of stacking, do a little bit of arrowing, and then those stacks can later be cleared by either Axe or Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon is also extremely good at clearing stacks.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of good solutions there. VP is going to be a bit weak to the Eclipse, but at least they'll have Disruption Illusions to tank up some of that. But if Aloha Dance plays really well here, I could see Empire just kind of rolling through VP.
Yeah, me too. Both, they have a lot of heroes that are reliant on some kind of farm to really be effective. Morphling, of course, needs a lot of farm before he gets super scary, and Axe and Earthshaker both really reliant on those blink daggers. So if they don't have that ideal laning phase set up, Empire could just take that momentum and really punish them hard. Empire's 5-man is scary, dude.
Yeah, and their ability to do early, I mean, their ganks aren't amazing, but Lion is going to make up for a lot of that. And VP's gank potential it's pretty good, but it's kind of weird. It's hard to execute. You have like Axe Battle Cry into an arrow, into a fissure or something. It's a bunch of weird heroes that don't necessarily synergize amazingly like Empires do. So I think you're pretty right there. It's going to be a little hard for VP to take team fights.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see. Again, for those of you just joining us, guys, this is the kickoff of the second group for Captain's Draft 3.0. We have Group Horse and Group Hippo. It's very confusing. Group Hippo is the one that was completed with EG, and today we are starting Group Horse. We will see Alliance and Digital Chaos. Of course, they came through that earlier round of qualifiers to make it through. So a lot of exciting stuff to come up today. And before too long, Purge, we're going to be heading out to Phoenix for our big coverage of the final playoff bracket where all the casters are going to be there. It's not a LAN for the players, but it's kind of a caster LAN. We're going to have some production, and man, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great to have everybody on site.
And there's really not that many games to cast even. It's like, what, 2 best-of-3s a day or something?
Pretty much, yeah.
For the exception of towards the finals where I think we have a best-of-5, if I'm not
Correct.
mistaken.
Yep.
So we're probably just going to hang out and eat food all the time and maybe play some board games on stream or something like that. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, there should be some fun extra activities as well for you guys.
I'm really hoping to push my long, elaborate board games on everybody else and force you guys to play them, so can't wait.
Is Pandemic a long, elaborate board game? Because
No,
I've heard of that one.
That one's pretty. If I was to say like learning curve, I would say Pandemic is low to medium tier, but I've only watched it play once on a stream.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty easy compared to the typical games I usually play. Usually the games I play, you have to play them like by the second time you feel like you understand how the game works, but like the first time is not good.
Man, look how well these teams know each other here. Lil up on the high ground, looking for a courier snipe, but Empire, they're wise to it. They move the courier around the side, make it an impossibility. They get the salve out, and this will just end up being wasted time for Lil. Nice heads-up play there from Empire. They see him, they ping him, and not going to find the courier.
And they're doing a dual lane here, and this is pretty easy to do because Morphling is just not a very good 1v1 hero because his range is a bit low. Like, he's got pretty good base damage and all, but it's just not always the best thing. Plus, he will get static link, so he has to play very careful here.
Yeah, and it should be good for Radiant. No fear, will have plenty of time to move around in the jungle, get some stacks going. For VP, it looks like FNG will just hang out towards the bottom lane. He pulls into the new camp here.
I don't know how he did this, actually. I'm a little curious. It must have something to do with Earthshaker, surely.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can, like, make the creeps walk to the left by doing, like, an angled fissure or something like that, and that gets them close enough. I'm not quite sure. But that's really nice for them.
Yeah. Should be able to at least get the Mirana level 2 soon. Find some farm early on. I'm curious how much time FNG is going to commit to roaming and trying to set up kills with arrows versus setting up stacks for his team and trying to find farm of his own.
Well, they can definitely kill mid right now. If they do disruption to the arrow, they're good, but it's going to be hard because it's so far away.
Yeah. And there's really good ward coverage for the Radiant. If we look at their vision, they've got one right here.
Oh, he'll get it, though.
And they're pinging it out like crazy. They want to come for the defense. Arrow gets launched. No fear. Won't get caught, but he will defend his ward, at least for now.
Yeah, this is going to be tough because FNG's got 3 minutes to do this, but he's going to have to walk on their high ground to the left side to kill that ward. It's the only way he'll get it.
Yeah. Like Phobos might come with him here. Bounty Rune picked up by FNG, and Lil gets a haste up top. Looks like he's just headed into the mid lane. They might try to set something up onto the Razor. Courier poking through, but nope, Lil's just going to hide in the tree line. Not going to rush it.
So a little bit of side pull here by Havos, but I think this is pretty good for Silent. I mean, he should be able to spin on all this stuff. He's going to do a lot of damage to Havos right now.
Man.
Never mind, one spin.
Yep, still, time walk away. Gets that backtrack now in the mid lane. Looks like Arrow did connect onto Razor. Could this be a first blood? Shallow Grave comes out. That'll buy him some time. Shadow Poison's on. Grave about to expire. This should be a kill. He's dead. Lil gets the first blood and the bonus gold to go with it.
It was only level 1 poison, but getting 3 stacks this early does so much.
Yep.
So nicely done. I think it was about 60 damage actually. It's not amazing, but he's going to do another stack here on the medium camp. He should be able to do a double stack here. Attack the medium camp and then do a Shadow Poison to the other one. And double stacking on Shadow Demon is just amazing because it's just going to accelerate you so much. He'll get level 3 now if he can, and then he'll come back and probably clear these camps out.
Yeah, that's incredible. Now FNG can get all this yummy experience as well if he's just nearby. He's dinged level 2. They pop a smoke right after the stacks, and it appears they just want to rotate mid again and continue pressuring this Razor. Dazzle's Grave is only level 1. It's still on cooldown for 15 seconds, so they have a small window here. Looks like they won't be able to capitalize on that. Dazzle rotating out of the lane. This could be the opening.
Yeah, they'll go now as the Razor's in. The arrows might not hit though. There it comes.
Pretty
All right,
far. Oh, just
missed.
barely misses. It shaves some hairs off his back, but Razor lives. There you go.
That's a hard loss for VP there. I think that was a guaranteed kill. It just the arrow slightly off there. That might have been a matter of like centimeters on his screen or something. Like I can't believe he missed that. That looked like it was gonna hit.
It was a slightly more difficult arrow to connect with, from pretty far away, but... Alright, how are these other lanes doing? Let's see. Phobos in the bottom lane, only level 2 on the Shaker, 5 last hits. It's kind of slow going for him, but hasn't died. Meanwhile, on the safe lane, Silent is having a great time against Havos. 30 last hits compared to the 11 of the Void. Hard for him to find a kill because of the time walk changes, but still, I think Silent is pretty happy just getting all this early farm. Tranquil Boots, Ring of Health already in the inventory, also level 6, and you can see how much he's pressuring Havos here. Not afraid to just dive that tier 1 tower and make this Void feel a little intimidated.
Yeah, it's a much easier lane for Axe here because he has so much more harass potential. Like, Havos is doing fine by being able to counter the damage that's being done to him, but it doesn't mean that he can fully last hit. He can't consistently just trade hits and take that damage. Time walks only have cooldown so often.
And, Phobos getting dove down bottom. Stun connects from Funnick, and this should be an easy kill. Can't even get off the Fissure. Luna will get one up on the scoreboard. That will level it out 1-1.
And they might be able to take the tower from that one, actually. The sports are rotating over, but they might not be here in time.
Yeah, one of the great things about Luna in this early game, that extra damage from the aura makes pushing these towers so easy. They'll force out the glyph, TP coming in, see if they can secure or deny it. Certainly in range. Aloha Dance going in for the last hit. Fissure arrow connects onto Funnick. It's a 4-second stun. The tower goes down to the Radiant. They can't get the deny. Funnick gets a stun off, but it's just going to buy him a little bit of time, trying to make space for his Luna to get away. And she will. Funnick in no man's land tries to TP home. They've got the damage, and Lil once again secures the kill. So a little bit less than ideal for VP. They missed the deny on the tower, unfortunately, but they do get a kill out of it.
I'm a little curious about this. No Talisman on Shadow Demon. He is buying Veil. I've never thought about this before, but I mean, if you stack, like I said, 5 Shadow Poisons at level 4, it does 1,000 magic damage. If you Veil and Soul Catcher that kills like anybody. Now, most of the time, oh, they never dewarded this word. Now, most of the time, you're not actually going to get 5 stacks, but even doing like 4 stacks is about 500 damage. So putting a Veil on top of that could really do a lot of damage, and it's going to amp up the rest of the team's damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Earthshakers, Muranas.
One of these teams where you don't look at it and go, oh my god, the magic damage, but every hero's got some kind of magic damage they can put out between Arrow, Fissure, even just Waveform from the Morphling. It all adds up when you're talking about the buff that Veil gives. So it's a very interesting item choice. I'm excited.
Veil is just such a good item right now for the cost of it. Like, in some cases, you could even argue for buying a Veil and not even using the active, because it gives you armor, it gives you HP regen, it gives you a ton of stats, it gives you 18 int. Like, that's 18 damage for Shadow Demon, that's a ton of mana pool. It's a really solid item to pick up, very similar to Drums for all those reasons. So if you do have any magic damage on your hero, in a lot of cases, Veil is quite good. So he'll do the stacks now.
Yeah, this should be a nice boost to him. Already level 4, so well on his way to a timely level 6. Even though VP have had a couple of missteps with that failed smoke and the failed deny down bottom, they're getting a lot more out of these lanes. It's still Silent that's leading the charge. Has a nice early Vanguard here, even before the 7-minute mark with Tranquil Boots. This is one happy Axe here at this early stage. He should have a Vanguard blink by an easy 10-11 minutes if this keeps up.
That's going to be really important as well, because it's going to set him up for a bunch of kills. Lil does another stack on the medium camp here while he clears the first medium. He should hit 6 here. So one of the best things about Shadow Demon is his ability to accelerate if you do a little bit of stacking for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Havost is now level 6 on the Void, so there are some options for Empire opening up as the ultimates come online. Luna has her Eclipse, and well, Lion's still pretty far away from the finger, but they can kind of skirmish around these cooldowns if they want to start taking engagements around the map.
Well, they definitely need to get some kills. They did get the tier 1 tower, but it got denied. So that's really going to limit their ability to snowball as a 5-man lineup. They're still farming decently, but
it was not denied actually. They got the kill with
oh,
that
really?
creep.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought for sure they were going to get the deny there.
Yeah, they should have, but not quite.
Luna going for Helm of the Dominator, pretty standard. Can do a lot of stacking with that. It's a little scary though against an Axe. Axe could steal that.
That's true.
Especially with the Vanguard build.
It's also nice to just get the Alpha Wolf nice and early, so you get the stacking auras and that extra damage for your team once you start to group up. Nice synergy there.
FNG having a little trouble finding some roam here. He's extremely underleveled at this point at level 8 or level 3 at 8 minutes.
Really poor too. I mean, both him and Dazzle playing that hard 5, but 600 net worth. I mean, he's not even close to boots.
Next might just get a free tower here by himself. I like that FNG's in the area though. I think he'll go for the arrow.
Yeah, just to try to zone out Havost here. TP coming in. It does get denied by Havost. Very nice. Arrow misses. Berserker's Call from Axe buys him a little bit of space, and they will continue to pursue. There is a chrono available for the Void, but Havost playing this defensively. They're anticipating some rotations on the way as they are blind around the map. A lot of darkness and a lot of missing heroes from VP, so they will play it safe and just back up.
There's just no way they get that kill, honestly. Like, he's got a Vanguard at 8 minutes. Like, that does so much.
Uh-oh, now we have the setup the other way. Disruption. Shadow Poison starting to stack up. FN's in a lot of trouble here. Silent doing huge damage. Gets an easy kill. It's actually Lil that gets the last hit again, and that'll be a killing spree for the Shadow Demon already.
Soul Catcher's so good. 20% extra pure damage. His Veil is now up now. So, and he's about to hit 7 because they'll probably kill the stack here. So he'll be 7.
This is insane. This is like a position 3 Shadow Demon at this point. I mean, the Earthshaker's not farming that well. He's just leeching in the offlane. I feel like the Shadow Demon is... I can't believe how much farm he's gotten already.
Yeah, this hero is really fun, man. That's why I like him. Like, you really can accelerate rapidly.
Oh, here we go down bottom. Phobos, he's got the fissure, showing us how to do this pull camp here, although he doesn't aggro the creeps. That was not the best one to catch on camera. Sorry, Phobos.
So it seems like you can trick the creeps to walk left more so than usual, and then you can get the pull to come over. You might need a ranged hero to do it, though, or you just have to fissure a little bit earlier.
Yeah, you see the concept. That is pretty neat. Yep. That's a neat little trick, though.
It's not extremely valuable, though, in a lot of cases. If you stack the large camp, it'd be great, but a single large camp is usually just going to trade the creeps and kill the neutral creep and not kill many of the lane creeps, so it's okay. I don't think it was really that worth it for FNG to do it. It was good because it messed up the creep equilibrium, but it didn't actually get them that much more farm. He could have just arrowed the large creep and gotten the golden experience, you know?
Yeah, that's a good
but
point.
if you stack it first and then do that pull, then it's amazing because you're going to keep denying full waves to the enemy carry. That's amazing. If they did it that way, I would be like completely game changing. But just doing a single pull is mediocre.
Well, Axe has his Blink Dagger now, level 11 at the 10.5-minute mark with Vanguard Blink. This is scary. I mean, he can pretty much set up a kill on anyone right now. Nobody on Empire is tanky enough to survive a full rotation if he has anybody with him. I guess Razor is one of the beefiest, and he was just easily killed up top, so we'll see.
Yeah, a couple spins, Soul Catcher. I mean, you're going to do a lot of damage there. Does 200 physical in an AoE, and right now most people don't have more than 1,000 HP, so calls are going to be huge. I want to see, it looks like there's going to be a smoke for Lion. Usually the big tells, whenever he hits 6, he's going to be going for some kind of a gank, just because his burst damage is so high. And he's sitting next to Host here. I think after this neutral, they may smoke and wrap around.
Well, you were right about a smoke, but it's on the other side. It's VP that go for it. They jump right onto the Razor, waveform forward. Lil showing off that Veil. A Chronosphere comes out. They might be able to turn this around, but where's the damage? Everyone on VP so healthy. Grave doesn't save the Razor. His axe just cuts right through it. Now Fissure from Phobos breaks up the fight. Arrow will be off the mark, but they go right in onto Funnick. Another dunk for Silent. It's a double kill, and they're not done yet. Disruption sets up onto Havost. He'll time walk away, but now he's got no out, and they're still in hot pursuit. A lot of mana here. He'll have another time walk. Forgot about how low that cooldown is now. Fissure connects. Arrow as well. They've got the damage. It's 3 for nil. And VP come out big in the mid lane. Great smoke timing there. Lion didn't even get to use his finger.
That worked out quite nice. They kind of wasted their Earth Spike as well, the Chronosphere, and it stacked a little bit. But if they could have done the Chronosphere into a 3-man stun.
Up top. Oh, Aloha Dance. He just sets it up. He sees a TP coming in, pops his ult. Axe is like, shit, what do I do now? That was smart play from Aloha Dance. That's just a freebie.
He's got to be happy with that one. He's got 92 CS now and 2 kills. He's
number 1 on net worth all of a sudden. And of all the targets to kill, that's the Axe. That's the big scary guy that they've been afraid of. That was a 700 gold bounty.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. And he's the only person on their team with kills right now in Empire. So putting on the Luna, that is definitely the best hero to have it.
Very nice. That's a Yasha on the way for him. And pretty darn close to it, too.
So it looks like Razor will just do a bit of farming here as he cuts the creep wave. And they get the last hit, so Luna gets a double kill basically, or 2 kills now, and now a tower.
Yeah.
Shifting mid to farm. Oh, this is a gank actually.
Yep, hit onto Phobos. Hex comes in after the first lunar beam, and yeah, Finger makes that an easy one. Funnicle will just take the kill. Arrow hits on Aloha Dance. Is there any follow-up? Nope, just FNG. He'll throw in a couple of arrows, and they just kind of tickle the Luna with 18 armor right now.
She's pretty tanky here. Is that her Yasha finished?
Yep.
Yeah, she's got Yasha, Treads, Aquila Wand, and a Helm of the Dominator. She's actually by far the most farmed hero in the game. It's going to take a while for Morphling to catch up, but that's kind of the nature of how Morphling works. He's not a super accelerant carry in the early game.
Yeah, now there's a big fatty stack here for Luna. Looks like a triple stack, 1 of each. And not scouted out. No wards down, so she should be able to do this uncontested. Now smoke rotation from VP. Morphling just going to split push up top with his ultimate there. What are they going to grab? Looks like they may just rotate bottom. Havos does have a Chronosphere, though, so they could possibly reset. Silent jumps right in. Gets the Berserker's Call, and no chance for the reset. It's an easy kill on the Void. Now they're going to find Funnick. No mana for another stun. Still stuck on cooldown. It'll be a double kill for G on the Morphling. Great smoke rotation from VP.
Oh my god, Shadow Demon's building a Dagon now.
Oh. Wow.
I was like, okay, 4 staff, going back to Nirvana. Nope, he's all in on the Dagon, which is, makes me a little confused about his skill build, because it looks like he is maxing out Disruption second. In most games, this is the better thing to do, just because getting the Disruption cooldown lower is solid. Not to mention, it does just pair so well with Morphling and the long duration of those illusions, so makes a lot of sense, but if he's going for Dagon Veil, man, don't you think you would just max Soul Catcher and be like, I'm going to one-shot everybody with my Veil?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is such an interesting Shadow Demon build. I have never seen this. I can definitively say Brown Boots, Veil, Dagon. Especially 15 minutes in, getting close to having all 3. It's
the Dagon is something that has existed. I've seen it happen for Shadow Demons because you're like, oh, I can damage jam with Soul Catcher, makes sense. But putting the Veil with it, it makes it so much more sense because it's amping the magic damage that you already have with Shadow Poison. It's really synergistic. It looks great.
I mean, you look at a hero like Luna now with 1,000 HP. Shadow Demon can almost solo her full to 0. If there's just one hero nearby to connect with a stun, any follow-up damage, that's an easy kill on almost any target.
Shadow Demon is a carry that actually, or sorry, a support that actually can solo kill a lot of carries.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding. Like just Disruption alone, if you're making illusions of an agility hero, and then you're slowing him, and you're amping the damage he takes, like, you're gonna get wrecked by your own illusions. Like, Shadow Demon in late game with an Axe can solo kill almost any agility carry. Yeah. Assuming they don't have an escape of some kind, or they can't TP after the disruption. So, it's dangerous.
This is risky for VP. They're committed to the Roche pit here. Roche still reasonably healthy at about 30 HP. Empire on their way in, but they'll use the Mirana ultimate. Moonlight Shadow to disengage and reset. Pavos goes into the pit. He almost uses the Chrono, but pump fakes it. Now drops the Chrono onto Lil and G on the backside. It's Silent that takes huge damage. He gets fingered and will go down first. Arrow connects on Havos, buying some space for Lil, but FN, he's in hot pursuit as well. Invisibility rune on. The Eye of the Storm just doing damage, and that'll be the end of the dominating streak for Lil Shadow Demon. 2-0. Empire take the fight, and now they move into the Roche pit. No buybacks available for VP, and I think they're just going to have to let this one go.
Yeah, Arrow. I think VP just should have backed from that. Like, the only way they won that fight, I think, is if they got a Axe call as the Earthshaker walked in and did an Echo Slam. Like, as soon as Axe got segmented, he was in trouble.
Oh, wow. They wanted the Aegis steal. Now they're going to commit to this. FNG mistimes it. He jumps into the pit. No escape after that. He'll fall. G, morphing strength, trying to get away. I think he might live here. Phobos has a Fissure up in 1. He also has an Echo. No mana for it now, but he's got the Soul Ring. There it is. Connects on 3. Is there any follow-up damage? No. Phobos does everything he can. Just barely lives. The disruption still keeps him alive. Now Silent rejoins the party. Out comes the Berserker's Call. Damage starting to add up, but they're going to turn it around onto Silent. G just isn't there for the follow-up damage. Silent's getting low. The end of the Aegis. But Luna just can't take the heat, and she will end up falling. Now G gets caught. He'll be the next one to fall, but it's Silent with a return kill. Slam dunk to finish off a boast on the Faceless Void. FNG going back in. This is one war of attrition here as both sides continue to poke into each other. It's a ring around the Rosie in the fog of war around the trees here. Now Loha Dance caught again. Fissure into Berserker's Call. They catch him. Killing spree down as Axe gets another kill. Maybe they'll find No Fear. Arrow, not going to be on the mark this time, but only limited space for the Dazzle here. He's got a Shallow Grave, but Axe is ready with the ultimate and just chops his head off. Triple kill now for Silent. And after all that, I think it's Virtus.pro that comes out with the advantage as they do cut off the Aegis and kill the Luna.
That's basically the only way they win team fights. Once I saw the dunk, I was like, I don't think this is going to be good because that dunk did almost no damage, but they kept the Earthshaker alive as he was retreating with a nice disruption, and they just worked everybody down slowly with waveforms and arrows and shadow poisons, and especially the Culling Blades. Once he got the Culling Blade off on the Void, everything changed in that fight because the survivability for Empire's heroes went down drastically. So really nicely played there by Axe. He's got a Crimson Guard finish at 18 minutes, and he's got 1,400 gold on the board. Sounds playing amazing.
Yeah, I feel like Virtus.pro also did a really good job in that fight, just managing their cooldowns. They have a lot of these like 8 to 12 second range cooldowns. Like you've got Arrow, you've got Fissure that aren't super spammable in team fights, but it seemed like as soon as whoever they were individually didn't have their spells available, they just back up, run in the fog, hide in the towers, they come back and reset, and over the period of time, they just had the improved sustainability. It was really an impressive fight to watch, honestly.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Silent
really
was the big breadwinner. Now he's got the Crimson Guard, he's working on an Aghanims point booster already up. I'm assuming it's an Aghanims, though. Could it be like an Octarine core or something? Is Ags the obvious item?
On the Axe?
Axe?
Yeah, probably Ags. Octarine, it just doesn't. Octarine sounds like it might be okay on Axe in all reality, but definitely probably more likely Ags. It's just so expensive is the other issue. It's like, you know, 6,000 gold. You could get Ags for 4,100 and it gives you about the same survivability. It's not worth getting the Octarine, but the item could have some merits hypothetically in a crazy game.
Here it is. Here it is, Purge. Level 1 Dagon up on Lil.
Woohoo. So still has level 1 Soul Catcher, but yeah, if you drop all of your stat items, you regen faster in the dungeon,
I know. It's just funny. Like I got the Dagon, and now I'm gonna throw it on the ground. All right. But just as that comes out, BKB is up for the Razor. That's his first big item. So FN not particularly farmed right now. Lincoln's up on G. So there goes the first big item on him.
Can stop a Hex, a Lucent Beam, a Static Link, a lot of good things, and some good mana regen coming with that. He's getting to the point where he can help in team fights a bit more. Yeah. Luna's still clearly way more farm though, and she picks up a Manta style here.
Yeah, she's farming really fast. The Ancients have definitely made a difference. We've seen Aloha Dance just constantly in this part of the map, whether it's a single stack or just clearing them out for now. They've managed the map very well. They've also got a Vlad's now, so some extra lifesteal for Aloha Dance and just that extra little bit of survivability with more armor, more damage. Empire are itemizing pretty well here, I think, to deal with what VP have brought out. Funnick also has a Blink Dagger. We didn't mention that, but pretty good timing for Lion this game.
Yeah, it's not terrible considering that they were pretty far ahead in terms of kill, or behind in terms of kills for most of the game.
I think he's had it for at least a minute or two, so not too shabby.
If they could initiate, it would be really good for Empire, especially because they could initiate with Hex on one and Chronosphere a group of others.
This game is really leveled out, though.
Vision.
It's completely even in terms of farm right now.
It's going to be even for a long time, I think. FNG does have Arcane Boots up, so he'll be spamming more arrows and spells. VP doesn't necessarily feel very safe to go fight just yet. And that's due to the strong teamfight ultimates that Empire has. They have to get some good ganks off, and because they're lacking disables, it's harder to get those fights. Because if you go to try to kill a Faceless Void, the only really good disable you have is Call into Arrow. And if you don't land those, he's going to turn things around on you. So it's really hard for VP to take fights.
Yeah, mid lane. Could see something break out here. Vos, he's the one that jumps in. Chronosphere deployed onto Lil. Moonlight Shadow's used, and doesn't look like there's too much follow-up here.
We still cast it.
Sentry comes down for the Radiant. And now they're going to continue on to Lil. They've got a lot of damage to follow up. Finger comes out and they get the kill, but now the slam dunk. They get a kill onto the Void as well as the line. Aloha Dance counter initiates now with the Eclipse, but he's already lost so many teammates. Silence just racking him up. He's already killed 3 and he's setting up for more. No fear on the ride. He'll die without a shallow grave. Nice Manta from Aloha Dance, but still gets caught by the Berserker's call. He's locked in. The dunk actually going to come just a bit too early, but it matters not. 1 for 5, a full team wipe as all of Empire are on the deck.
Really nice dunk there by DK Phobos. That turns things around completely there. Small mistake from Lil there. He tried to disrupt because he knew that the Chronos Hero was coming, but he was a little bit late, and then he didn't cancel his cast there. And I think he should have just walked out instead of disrupting himself. Slight mistake from him there. But either way, it completely got turned around due to the dunk and the great plays from Axe. He just got every single dunk there.
Yeah. Was that actually the Blink Dagger reveal for him?
For Earthshaker, I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so that was part of the positioning there for Empire. They didn't know that he had it quite at that timing, but that's like the dream way to reveal an item like that, set up a huge team fight. And just as we were commenting how even this game was, VP now has the biggest net worth and XP lead we've seen so far in the match. So that was definitely a nice, so like a 5K swing of momentum. Pretty significant. Yeah,
now Morphling and Axe are about equally as farmed as the Luna is, so pretty scary for Luna now. She's a carry that kind of has to stay ahead ideally, because if you're even with an enemy team, your ability to control the game isn't as high, and by that I mean you can't just get solo kills very simply. In a lot of cases you need Eclipse to do that, and that ability is too long cooldown for you to chance that. So Luna's kind of a weak carry for that reason. There's only so much you can do to stay ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. BKB for her, getting pretty close. She's got the Mithril Hammer, basically just a recipe away. I think that's potentially game-changing item, though. It didn't really seem to matter for the Razor in that fight. He didn't even use it, actually. He's still on his 10-second BKB.
I think he got Berserker called into Echo Slam.
Yeah,
pretty
I think
sure.
you're right, actually.
And then he was at like 40% HP, and he knew he would just get dunked if he used it. So I think that's why he saved it. Quite sure.
Yeah, I actually thinking about it, you're right. He was right in the front when that dunk happened, but I guess more just a case that BKB is not the end-all be-all against this VP lineup. They have so many ways to just catch you unaware before you can even use your items like that. Now smoke from VP. 4 heroes crossing the mid lane here. Up top, G is just hanging out. See who they find. Havos hiding behind the tier 2 tower. Right now, Empire are just in a very defensive posture. Doesn't look like VP is going to be able to find much. Even up top, Funnick just hiding in the tree line, and they won't bump into him, but here we go.
Oh no, they accidentally stacked their disables.
Oh my, but an arrow still connects. They should still be able to find this. The grave comes out just in time. Beautiful ult from Havos, and now it gets set up to isolate DK Phobos. They do trade the Luna for it, but she channels most of her ultimate, and that will make it a 2-for-1 advantage going the way of Empire. An awkward angle to initiate, an obvious misplay there from VP. Unfortunate to have the disruption come out right as Silent was trying to use that Berserker's Call.
Yeah, they stacked their disables there. I mean, if they just did Berserker's Call and killed him, it's great, but when you're playing aggressive like that and you buy your opponents 2.5 seconds to show up, then that might be enough time for them to turn things around, and the Chronosphere might not have come before Luna died otherwise. So, moderately big communication mistake there. It still was okay for them, considering they traded a Luna for a support and an underfarmed offlane.
Yep. And they're going to steal an Ancient stack here. G's going to grab that. And the rest of VP will just continue pressuring the tier 2 in the top lane here. And they're going to capitalize on this situation just to get some extra gold going their way. Axe will actually get the last hit on the tower. He does, by the way, have the Aghanims completed. He picked it up before that last fight. And we'll see what he grabs next. Now the E-Blade up on the Morphling. So this is when he starts to transition from, okay, he can participate, to he is damn scary. And he can start finding solo kills on the weaker supports.
And the important part is they have a Shadow Demon who's already going to be doing Soul Catcher and who already has the Veil. So the E-Blade does even more damage than normal.
So much synergy.
And now the Morphling is going to amp Shadow Demon's damage as well because he's got a Dagon. So it's like these two heroes, they built perfectly synergistically. It's going to work out really nice.
Yeah. Well, Blink Dagger does also get completed on Havos. He's the one that picked up the Vladimir's first, and huge item on the offlane Void with this style of playing him. They have some more initiation power. Empire will smoke. I don't know if it was intentional to leave Havos behind, but he does get left out of the smoke party.
They saw the
coming up in
D-ward.
about 5 seconds.
They're going to try to fight bottom. They might get caught here. Oh, great arrow. It does miss, though. Won't see them either.
Now they're just going to scatter. G's going to move into the trees, but he's got a replicate down, so even if they find him here, he should be able to make it out.
Alright, he broke the smoke. Will he get out?
Yep, there you go. Break the Lincolns. Easy peasy.
Yeah, that's too hard when he's in the darkness like that, because you need to instantly initiate, and the only way to do that is maybe to like blink or spike the ground while hexing, and most players are going to be able to react in time. So Lincoln's absolutely saving his life.
Yep. The Aloha Dance now the TP out. Virtus.pro, they might be the ones to go on the aggressive.
Oh, definitely. They got a DD on Morphling now, so that's plus 219 damage if they do get into a fight. Oh, they catch one.
Uh-oh. An easy way to start a fight here is Axe grabs the Razor. He'll use the BKB this time. He'll TP home, and Axe has already used his Berserker's Call. Well, that is the 10-second BKB for the Razor. No, that's the 9-second, pardon me. Still, that's a victory for Virtus.pro. Just getting it down towards that 5-second charge. Cost them really nothing.
Yeah, very little. Empire at least didn't die, but now if they go for Roshan, they commit to it. It's not up just yet, it is now, but if he was dead and Rosh appears, then it's instant Rosh for VP. So at least the Razor's alive, better than him being dead with the BKB.
Though his BKB will be on cooldown for this Rosh engagement, it looks like. And that is definitely not ideal. So here we go, FNG just hiding in the tree line here. Havos coming nearby. Uses the time dilation. He will move out of the Rosh pit this time. They won't commit for it. Then they will look to pick a fight. Taking a look at vision here. Looks like Radiant have the vision advantage. They've got a ward up on the high ground, so they see exactly where VP are, except FNG. Bonnet goes in, they get the vision, finger comes out, FNG barely survives, they stun the most.
Oh, he
they
died.
Turn it around and they blow up with the shotgun. Lion dies as well. It's a fast 2-0 for Virtus.pro. Now they Moonlight Shadow to try to make the Exodus. Axe gets disrupted, he's on the run, but they've got pretty good damage here. They're going to cut through him despite the Crimson Guard. They secure the kill to make it a 1-for-2. The rest of VP still on the back foot. A wicked 6th streak going the way of Aloha Dance. That's an 800 plus a gold bounty. So even though it's a 2-for-1, not that bad for Empire. They do stall the Rosh and buy themselves some more time on that front.
Yeah, the fight almost went awful for VP, but with the Dagon and the Soul Catcher and the Veil, they in the E-Blade, they just bursted down the Void in a very small amount of stun duration. They just killed him. That was very close.
Rune onto Phobos, but there's a sentry on the high ground. He almost walked into the range. Wow, that could have been a disaster the other way. Okay.
I think overall that's going to be very good for VP, though. I mean, all their important cores are still alive. Yeah, Axe died, but he doesn't really care if he dies once in a while. When he's this farmed already, he's more or less set for almost all the game. So Morphling's going to go top and farm. They can still hang out by the Rosh area, and when everybody's alive, they'll probably try to fight again, because they're not going to have to worry about Eclipse, and that is a huge amount of damage coming from Empire.
Yeah, finger on cooldown for another 25 seconds. Lions also picked up a gem. They hang on to it through that fight, but some extra incentive perhaps for Virtus.pro if they can find a good fight here. So Axe responds, TPs to the tier 2 right away. Still 4 heroes grouped up around the Rosh pit with a replicate nearby. So one of the great things about Morphling at this stage in the game, he can split push out lanes and then linger nearby to quickly join team fights. Kind of that like mini Spectre syndrome where you can be in 2 places at once. And now he's just hard to deal with. He's got 3,300 gold. We'll see what he grabs next.
Probably Butterfly or Scotty, perhaps.
Yeah, Scotty is kind of what I was thinking, but something carry-oriented. Probably not a BKB.
Probably not. I think Butterfly would be pretty good too, though, because it's going to pretty much heavily mitigate what Razor does in terms of damage, Void, and Luna as well.
All right. Things slowing down a little bit. No fear. Walking into the Rosh pit here. Sees that it's clear. Kind of a risky maneuver to some degree. Gets a ward up on the high ground. And right away, FNG's there. They see it. He puts down a sentry, and that's a dead ward.
Nicely done there. Sal from Mirana as well. They could maybe Rosh. They know Dazzle won't be there. But it looks like they're going to play it safe.
Yeah, Axe is very close to his BKB, just about 150 gold off, so he'll finish off this Ancient stack, and that last Dragon will give him gold. That's 2 BKBs, so we were wrong about the Morphling, but double 10-second magic immunity. Also, Lil has an Aether Lens, so even more range on all of the spell casting that we've been ogling for the past half hour here, Purge. These teams are ready to fight. Rosh is up. Boast blinks into the pit, sees that nobody's there, and they look to reset. Now it's a smoke used, double damage on G as well. This is a great potential opening for VP.
It's almost gone, though. He also bought something. What does he get? He gets a BKB. Okay, he's just going to play it safe. He doesn't have to worry about Eclipse damage now or Finger of Death, so now he can just play super low agi, or super low strength, that is, and more or less guarantee that he doesn't die in team fights. So he just went for the safe play. It's not going to accelerate him as fast, but winning team fights will definitely accelerate him.
You know, Shadow Demon's also great for these kind of Rosh plays at this stage of the game because you can scout with the Shadow Poison.
Yeah.
See him doing it right now and feeling pretty confident that it's clear. Sees Havost walking in, and they know they can commit to the Roche. They finish him off, and it's Morphling that grabs the Aegis. Now they're going to hunt for a fight. They've got Moonlight Shadow online. They see Havost. He blinks back, but Phobos, Force Staff forward. Who's going to catch who?
Can they get him? No, it doesn't look like it. Very close. They almost caught somebody. Getting one kill there would have turned this into a push, but instead it's going to force VP to go back and play a little bit safe again. Push out lanes and then try to go for a high ground.
Yep. They've got plenty of time here on this Aegis, so no reason to force the issue until they have a good opening for it. What's coming on the courier? Is that Mirana's mech? Oh, it sure is. So FNG finally getting a core item here. He's been kind of notoriously poor this game, but this will let him have a nice impact in these team fights aside from arrows and Moonlight Shadow.
Mirana's really have been able to recover a lot better lately due to that whole arrow on neutrals thing. He's also been in a lot of fights. He's got 11 assists this game. He's only died twice. This is really making Mirana's support look effective. I don't know if this arrow is going to hit, but no.
Off the mark. FN will be okay for now. Disruption.
Yeah, if you make a disruption of an
illusion,
illusion, the damage it's done is based on the agility of the original carrier, not the illusions. So these illusions do about twice the damage that Luna's illusions do. More than twice, a little bit higher than twice.
That's insane, actually.
Yes.
I thought that was a misclick at first, but wow, you're right. That is nuts.
He might even disrupt Morphling here and send Morphling illusions high ground, but they have to go back and defend.
Yep. Luna's going to leave some Manta illusions behind here. And it looks like Luna will go for the Butterfly coming up next. Already has the evasion piece, so now her illusions a little more tanky against the right clicks at least.
As our Shadow Demon's illusions of Luna are going to be.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's still good to have. It'll limit Morphling to being able to kill her with spells, which means if she's magic immune, she doesn't have to worry about that much. But not the perfect situation to be in as a Luna. There's so many different damage types that she has to deal with.
So if you're Empire at this point, I guess you sort of look to play defensive while the Aegis is up and try to hope it expires / take a good fight once VP push. But after that, 10,000 gold deficit. They have some map control. Do you just hold steady and wait for VP to get a little hyper aggressive, or is this a game where they need to kind of take the bull by the horns and try some aggressive smokes of their own?
I mean, they can maybe do ganks, but it's dangerous because there's a gem online. So if they lose the gem while doing an aggressive gank, they could get super behind, and they lose map control as well as losing gold advantage. So like the ganks could work, but only if VP spreads out a little bit and does some split pushing. Like right now, Morphling's top, for example, or who was top. If he's top like that, maybe you gank him with 3 heroes and then get back to your base to defend. But those movements are just very dangerous to do. Because if his allies are sitting behind him, then you kind of just lose Arax. So it's easier for Empire just to play it safe here.
Shotgun on Aloha Dance. That'll take him down below 50% HP before this fight even starts. 2 minutes left on the Aegis. Perfect time for VP to take a fight here. And they're just going to slow siege it. They're going to chip at this tower. They'll put G on the high ground with that Aegis loud and proud. Replicate onto Silent. Won't last long.
Line's such a good pick, man. His mana drain just one-shots illusions. It's countering everything they're doing.
Yeah. Here we go. Set up onto G. Defensive disruption. Silent falls short on the Berserker's call. And he'll be forced to kind of retreat here. Now FN. Oh, he gets isolated, though, by the Fissure. Havost is all by himself. Beautiful Fissure to get this. The Chronosphere is done. Aloha Dance goes in. He pops the ult, but there are so many creeps nearby. The Eclipse is rendered ineffective. All 5 still alive for VP, and they've already killed Havost. Out comes the Echo Slam from DK Phobos. Gets the Luna low, sets up for the ultimate from Silent, and he will get the decapitation. Buyback now right away from the Void as well as the Luna. Tier 3 towers fallen. Barracks now exposed, but they still have a glyph. Empire can certainly still make a hold here, but remember, there's still a BKB and an Aegis on the Morphling. He didn't even use the BKB in that last fight. Ranged barracks go down here in the mid. G getting low, but he wants to die at this point. Only a minute left on the Aegis. That'll be the end of him. Great Hex, though, onto Silent as he tries to come in to buy some space for the Morphling. He comes back. BKB used right away. He goes to fight Aloha Dance. Tries to Manta dodge the shotgun. Can't quite get it, but will live through the damage. Now VP focusing on some objectives here. Poking at the barracks. The Post wants to do something, but he doesn't have the ultimate. Down for another minute. Disruption buys Silent some time. He will fall, but they get the barracks that they came for, and now VP look to retreat. FNG TP's home, and everyone else will make it back.
Dude, I just want to play Shadow Demon every game for the rest of my life now. Like, this is such a good Faces Void counter. He's getting absolutely wrecked. Like, he needs a BKB. That's the only way that Faces Void can survive against this. The Soul Catcher and the Dagon alone is going to do, like, what, 600 damage or something like that? Not to mention the Veil on top of that and anything else his teammates throw out. Like, 6 seconds is no longer enough for him to survive initiations, and it's just become a very, very hard game for Faces Void here.
Yep, and we're seeing the benefits for Virtus.pro. The gold graph getting a little out of control at this point, like a 16k net worth lead, and you can just see the difference in the inventories. Phobos closing in on an Octarine core. Lil, he's up to, what, level 3 Dagon now? Guardian Greaves, even on FNG, everybody is getting into that territory where they've got their core items and some luxury items to boot. G picks up the Orb of Venom, 5,200 gold. Yeah, there's going to be a Scotty right around the corner, and at that point, he's not unkillable, but damn hard to bring down.
It'll help a lot. Right now, Morphling's damage is okay. His illusions are actually a little bit weaker than I expected them to be, but that's because he's got... Lincoln's is not a very good illusion item. It's okay, but it's not as good as Scotty, Butterfly, etc. BKB is obviously awful for illusions, so once he grabs that Scotty, his illusions are going to be way stronger. He's going to be able to kill carries a lot easier. They just won't be able to get away.
Yep. Shoulder Crest up on Dazzle. Okay, that's something. No MKBs for VP, so could make that Luna a little more tanky.
Good with Razor as well,
Yep.
and also against anybody that Axe goes after. Another thing, like Axe, because Axe does largely physical damage, so.
Good point, yeah. Definitely a good item pickup here. It'll take a little more than that. Seems like Razor, he went BKB, SNY, fairly well-rounded, and now just moving into the Assault Karas. Obviously, obvious synergy there, but I'm not sure he'll even be able to complete it before the pressure comes his way towards the base. Remember, 2 buybacks were used in that last fight for Empire, so they didn't even hold the barracks and still have their 2 big cores, Void as well as Luna, with buybacks on cooldown for 4 minutes. It looks like VP may want to capitalize on this window here and pressure while they know that's the case. I mean, this is basically one team fight away from victory for Virtus.pro at this point. Lion's the only one that has buyback for Empire.
Yeah, this is pretty scary for them. VP's positioning is pretty solid as well. Illusions go high ground, force the mana drain.
Yep. Limited vision here for VP, so they will just play it safe. Happy to just chip at this tower. Around the side, Havost with some interesting positioning. He is smoked up, looking for the dream Chronosphere to initiate this, but you look at his vision, and they don't see much past where Silent and G are standing. Arrow comes in, connects on the Alpha Wolf. That's actually not too shabby.
Big, yeah.
That's a big damage for Empire that's now mitigated. Here we
Those
go.
illusions are doing so much.
Moonlight Shadow, and this is just an easy, low-risk slow siege for VP. It costs them almost nothing to do this. They use the Moonlight Shadow, and they're not even going to initiate with it. They're just going to use it kind of defensively almost.
Yeah, Lil did a Dagon on the Razor there, which slowed him for 2 seconds since it was a single target ability. So,
Arrow.
forced us south.
Okay. Well, this is just great for VP. There is a glyph for Empire, but when to use it? Oh, God. Well, Lion gets caught by the shotgun. Load him up and knock him down.
Well, that's the one guy with buyback at least, so it's not horrible for VP, but it's bad.
Yeah. The scary part is how little that costs G. Basically just an Ethereal Blade cooldown. He can do that every 20 seconds. Even if Lion buys back, there's not too much preventing him from just doing that again. And here we go. Tier 3 tower falls. Barracks exposed. Empire need to do something soon, but it's the illusion game. You keep bringing it up, but for good reason. It's just ridiculous. Here we go. Silent goes in, grabs Aloha Dance. Follow up, not quite there, but Havost on point with a Chrono. Connects on 2. Going for Lil, but just can't bring him down. It's Silent in the front lines that takes big damage. They trade Axe for Void, and now Empire rush out of the base. BKBs have been used. They're off, and Phobos finds the opening. Catches no fear. Grave still comes out, but they isolate the Razor, and there's no way to keep him alive. Dazzle should go down as soon as the Grave expires, and he will. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's Aloha Dance and G going at it. Phobos blinks in again, and this should be the GG, and it is. Empire call it. VP take game 1 in this best of 3.
Such cool synergy out of their heroes, and as a whole, they just played the map very good. Axe just went crazy in almost all the team fights. He started off with amazing farm, and he transitioned to really good team fights. So I really feel like the players that more or less won this game for VP was Silent and Lil, basically, were the ones that did the most, and G played very reliable carry. And there was a good dunk from DK Phobos, and FNG did some pretty solid roaming while still getting farmed. So pretty much everybody on VP played amazing there, and Empire gets pretty shut out in this game. The Razor just fell flat, and the Luna did a good job, but it's still a Luna, and they really got countered on the Faces Void as well.
Absolutely. On paper, it seemed like this Empire draft was just really well-rounded. I certainly thought it seemed a little easier to execute, but that Shadow Demon had a ridiculous impact between the stacking, opening up efficiency for his team, the successful roams, and it was just a whole lot of synergy. Really like the way they drafted it. So that was just game 1, folks. We've got a lot of Dota 2 still coming up today for Captain's Draft 3. This is the opening day for our second group. We'll have game 2 of VP versus Empire coming up next. And of course, later, it is Alliance versus Digital Chaos. I'm Zyori, he's Purge, and we've got Pimp Muckle doing obs. Stick around because we're coming right back after this short break.